Game number 5 on the schedule here features a couple of teams that play in the Central Minor Hockey Federation. The TASA Ducks in orange taking on the Halifax Hawks. They are, of course, league rivals as we welcome you here to the Halifax Forum. Hi, everybody. Dan Hobson, delighted to have the call here for you here on 360 Live. Teams have met 4 times in the regular season, and earlier on, for the first 3 games, the TASA Ducks blew away the Hawks, but in their most recent matchup, back in January the 4th, the Ducks came away with a 3-1 win, so 9-0 wins on November 2nd and a 8-0 win November 20th and December 11th, an 8-0 win over Halifax, so, pretty well. It could have the potential to be a very good game, or it could have a potential to be a rout. We'll have to wait and see. Ben McDonald is the starting goaltender for the TASA Ducks, and Eric Liu for the Halifax Hawks. Hawks had a point. They tied the West Hants Warriors there earlier today, so they've gotten off the schneid in terms of points, and what they have done have really hurt the chances here for the West Hants Warriors, as the Warriors began the day in first place, as McDonald covers that. He gets his first test early here in the game. Finished by point. West Hants start the day in first place. Could find themselves drop all the way down to 4th as a result of that tie. Halifax just trying to get another point here and try to get things a little bit respectful. If they could do that, then they'll be right on the doorstep, and then all of a sudden they will need help to try to get into that 4 spot. Top 4 teams go on. We're now getting to that stage here of the championships. 3 games, of course, Saturday, and then they'll have the semifinal starting at 8:30, 10:30, and then the final at 2:30 on Sunday. So we're getting into the nitty-gritty here of the championships as we move on here. So this should, as I say, I don't know really how this one is going to go, but we hope that you are entertained wherever you're watching here on 360 Live. Pass there for O'Coin is too far out of his reach. The Ducks in their orange, and of course the Hawks in the black. And you think of it, this is actually a future matchup, and maybe what you see. Both these teams, of course, they're major Bantam affiliates. The Gulls, of course, winning the provincial championship last weekend. And the Hawks were, of course, the runners-up. And they played each other in that championship game. So this has the future to be the Axel Physio Hawks versus the Gulls. So this could not really go any better for them, as, they're going to use this as a learning experience as, of course, their hockey careers move on. So definitely the matchup between the future Gulls and the future Hawks here at the PeeWee Championships here at the Halifax Forum. Just 3 minutes gone here in the first period. Second game of the day here for the Hawks as well as the Ducks. Ducks began the morning and they had a 15-0 win. That is right, 15-0 over Sydney, the Steelers. And they're having a tough championship so far. They've had both of their games put out of the way here for the day, the Steelers, and they're happy. They had to face the top 2 teams off the start and then had to face their provincial rivals, their league rivals. They're the Glace Bay Mariners, as the net is off its pegs, causing the stoppage in play. So both teams will make changes here. So Steelers will wrap up their round-robin portion, taking on the Bedford Blues at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Ducks after this one will take on the West Hants Warriors. I've kind of had my laser beams, my eyes on that one. In the meantime, Legier coming down the wing, and a blocker save there by McDonald on the shot. McKinnon sends it down low, in behind the goal. But the Ducks team captain, Quinn Kennedy, will get going. He's got a burst of speed here. It was dangerous, over to Fuller. Fuller now, centering pass, and tipping that away is Lou, the starting goaltender there for the Hawks. It's Lou for the Hawks and McDonald for the Ducks. A one and done, and back the Hawks come the other way, led by McKinnon. McKinnon gets a shot, and McDonald makes the stop, and Bush there gets in the way, making sure that there's no whacking at the goaltender. Sarah Bush, the defense woman there for the Ducks. They got to like the start here for the Hawks. But they must feel pretty confident. Of course, they had 2 losses yesterday and then tied that West Hants Warrior team. William Shields did have a hat trick in that 3-3 tie, but talking, of course, to Ryan Backman, the head coach of the Ducks, they were talking about Shields earlier. He's like a triple threat, so you have that going for you. You have a lot, and if you could keep him to maybe less than 4 points a game, then you could probably have a good chance to win that hockey game. You just don't let him run up and get like 4 or 5 goal performances, because your chances of winning are not that great. Speaking of great, here's O'Coin with a great chance here for the Ducks. And a nice little stick there, beautifully done there by Wagner. Pokes it out of harm's way. But here's Halliday pinching in there for the Ducks to keep it in. Puts it out front, it's in the slot, and unable to pull the trigger was O'Coin. Back come Arnold and the Hawks. From well out, McDonald gloves it, plays it. Phillips gathers up the biscuit and gets things going. So you're going to see a good tempo here. The Hawks had a good tempo game against West Hants earlier. Of course, we mentioned that it was a tie. So that's what we can really expect. Good end-to-end action here. And as I mentioned, this will be the 5th time that they have met, regular season and playoffs. Percy now with the chip in, and we'll go in after it. Halliday, head on a swivel, taking a look to see what's going on. And they'll have the puck once again. Halliday here for the Ducks, and Baldwin now has it. And now the Ducks will start 3 wide here. Penny, Phillips, and Burke. Burke the trailer. He's getting ready for the one-timer. Now he'll park out front of the net, and the shot is stopped there by Lou as Penny gets a piece. Mike would have liked to got more composite on it, but wasn't to be that time. Coming up to 6.5 gone here in the opening period. Great pace to this one. Of course, the folks from the Halifax Hawks may be tuning in here for the first time to watch this TASA Duck team out of Tantallon. 17 players on the roster, 16 will be moving up, so that is a veteran field. So it's going to be tough for the Blues to defend their title here. The defending champions here, off to a good start, 2-0, but kind of really unfortunate here that Bedford and TASA don't meet each other in round-robin play. TASA's next game against West Hants tomorrow. That's at 12 o'clock, and Bedford plays Sydney. So they would have loved to see those two go at it, but I have a funny feeling it may be those 2 teams in the final, but we'll have to wait and see. And I think the West Hants Warriors have something to say about that, but that tie to the Hawks may hurt them there, and they may have to face the Ducks in the first round. O'Brien has it, so of course playoff rounds are Sunday, as we mentioned, and skills competition tomorrow, and the skills competition will be brought to you by RCS Construction, and will be at 2 o'clock, so I'll get a chance to see some of these guys. And it's also a little bit of a, it's an intense tournament. It's a tough couple of days. Get a chance to maybe relax, It's almost like figure skating when they do those performances after the end of the competition and perform for the fans. Well, that's what this is going to be tomorrow, skills competition, and 360 Live will have it. O'Brien trying to kick it to his stick there. It was at the end of his shift. O'Brien must have got lost because he started going over to the wrong bench. Shot! And that didn't miss the corner by Prince. Ducks with pressure once again. Judge with the puck, but it gets outside the blue line. And here come the Hawks the other way, led by Arnold. Arnold scored on a penalty shot. It's actually what tied the game. Actually, it was the first lead for the Hawks. My apologies there on that one, as they're getting all the games all scrambled up. When you have 7 in a day, that sort of happens. One-timer, and the stop there by McDonald as Raphael, who has been dangerous here in these championships, And another chance is stopped by McDonald. McDonald's going to prove you're going to get chances, but the thing about the TASA Ducks, teams playing them, they've had their chances to score, and they have been good scoring chances. Case in point there. A good chance there, but it remains no score. 6:15 remaining here in the opening frame. Hawks get things going here as they'll tip it up. Bercy couldn't get there in time, so they've iced the puck, so it'll go back down 200 feet in their own zone. Also a reminder that the Waterford Energy Services All-Star Team and Awards will be Saturday at 5:45 following the last round robin game. So we're getting to that stage here. Just got here yesterday, 4 games, 7 today, and this is game number 5, so we're getting close to the nitty-gritty, and all of a sudden the smoke is starting to clear, and the elite teams are starting to run away there from the bottom teams. That's why it's really important to try to stay away from that second loss, because as you see, even like a tie hurts you, because West Hants began the day in first, and by the time today ends, could be in 4th place after day 2 of the competition as a result of the tie to the Hawks. So the Hawks maybe try to do the same here, try to play a little bit of a spoiler role as that shot is blocked, doesn't get through. Standing in the way of that one was Brody Fitzpatrick. Bush, she has been pretty spectacular here so far, the championships here. Stellar defensive play, may not see it on the sheet, but is good one-on-one coverage. There's a shot, and it squeaks through, scores! Kennedy! Lou got a piece, but not enough. 10 minutes and 9 seconds, it's 1-0. Lou never really had a chance to get set on that one. And then he squeezed the glove, but it came through and just got over the goal line. And it makes it 1-0. Kennedy, 10:09. And a whistle stops play here. They'll bring it back here on the icing, and a draw will be in the TASA Duck zone. You could hear the noise as the TASA Duck fans, of course, they have been the lively bunch here at the championships, and that's really not to be much of a surprise. Anytime they've been at the championships in the past that we've been at, that has been the story. They send a big fan group to the games, and the case in point is they are right behind the bench supporting the Ducks, and you can even see the Duck logo. You might be able to see some little funky thing right next to their penalty bench area when the camera goes down on their end of the ice, and you might see it right now as the slapper there by Will McKinnon. He'll send it in. Of course, these championships, they last won in 2015, but they look really good this year. East Hants Penguins won it in 16, the Pictou Crushers in 2017, and that's one that the Ducks don't really want to talk too much about as Raphael will get going. Wrist shot, and getting a piece of it is McDonald, and it might have grazed the post as he made that save. First penalty of the game coming up. It is a hooking call. 11:09 the time. And it's going to Prince. So this power play is brought to you by Atlantic Acura. Hawks have a chance to even it up here. McMinn now with a wrist shot. It hits a couple bodies out front. Loose puck just outside the blue ice. And the Ducks will clear. McMinn was outside the blue line. He did knock it down, but Now they have to reset, but it doesn't get a chance to go down the rest of the way, but it's going to be stopped on the offside, so they'll bring it back outside the line. And the Ducks will have a chance to change some penalty killers here. 25 ticks went off the clock there in the penalty there to Prince, who's off for hooking. Baldwin and Mumberket, who had 2 goals, and their tie against the West Hants Warriors earlier today, taking the draw. McMinn sends it in. McDonald settles it down there for his teammates, and just like that, sent down the ice. Lou misplayed it, but nobody was back there, so a sigh of relief momentarily here for the Hawks. 1:09 left in the penalty here to Prince. And sent back down again. So the Hawks will regroup. 1 minute to go. McPhee handling Arnold there. Raphael blows by Bush. Raphael backhand, a pad save, and then sprawling to get the rebound was McDonald. And he makes the stop and covers up. Big time stop and a nice play there by, as the blow by Bush, and then got the chance, but McDonald up to the task. Nice play there by the Hawks, an even better play by the goaltender. Keeps it a 1-goal game here with 2:27 remaining here in the opening period. 30 seconds left. Hawks have one final chance here. Here's Legier now. Has a little bit of room. Coast into the zone. Down low, send it back to Wagner here along the blue line. There's a wrist shot. Ben Bishop tried to get a stick on it and couldn't. 17 seconds left. Kennedy wastes some time and then sends it down, so this may do it here for the Atlantic Acura power play here for the Halifax Hawks. 5 seconds remaining, and that was in the feet there of Bishop. So the penalty has expired. Penalized player will go to the bench, and hopping back on is O'Neill there for the Ducks. So we're even strength right now here with 100 seconds remaining here in the opening period. Kennedy has a lone goal. O'Brien has his stick check just near center ice. Kennedy driving now. He loses the handle, and back the Hawks come the other way with Bursey. Chips it in, goes in after, just the old dump and chase. Trying to come up with some loose pucks, get pucks deep. This is what they mean. Pass picked off by Bursey, but he was in the wrong place at the time there to do anything with it. And the puck stayed there, so the Ducks are allowed to get control, get possession of it, as we're coming up to 1 minute remaining here in the first. Hawks get settled here, get something going. But it's actually stopped by Baldwin there by the TASA Ducks. Here's Bursey now, as we have 49 seconds remaining here. No announcement with 1 minute to go here in the period. So a shot there by Ross, and that's easily stopped there by McDonald. McDonald was allowed to see it all. 43 seconds left here in the first. Tide draw just a little bit. Hawks will get possession, and they'll try to dump it in towards the corner. And now it's in behind the net there. Like McDonald's positioning there, he's just right in the middle. He has a chance to look and see. Now he's got that butterfly style. Didn't really commit either side. Sign of strong goaltending there. Now they come over and, of course, shut down the short side there for the Hawks, so they didn't even pull the trigger. 10 seconds remaining here in the period. Back out to center ice. Team captain there for the Hawks has it. And it's Arnold there chipping in towards the corner as this period will come to an end. 4 seconds remaining. One final shot. Stick save there by McDonald. And great rebound control sends it out of harm's way. So first period comes to an end, and TASA Ducks, the lone goal of the period. Each team had one power play, but Kennedy at 10:09 is where we stand after the opening 15 minutes of play. We'll be back with the second period right after this here on 360 Live. So teams back here as we are in the second period, 2-0. Burke at 2:34 has made it 2-0. We're glad you could join us wherever you're watching here on 360 Live. They're making the announcement here, but it's a 2-goal deficit as that rolls into Lou, and he makes the stop, causing the stoppage in play. I'm not sure if our fans heard was what I was talking about, the statistics here for the Ducks. We had some little bit of audio difficulty, but I'm not sure if it did, but if you didn't, I was talking about the Ducks here. 21 goals for, 1 against. And as I said earlier, 16 of the 17 players will be moving on from the program, and they're hoping to go to New Glasgow here, but first you got to punch your ticket to that, and you have to win the championships here. Representing Nova Scotia at the Athletics, April 4th to 7th. 21 goals and 1 against. Nothing really to sneeze at, and they keep on trying again. And the score, this time Rivera joins the party and gets a celebration afterwards. I don't know who's more excited, Rivera or his teammates. 3-0. This is what hurts the Hawks, is they give up goals and punches too. 3:59. A minute and 21 apart have sort of broken this one open. And this is a good call here by Tyler Dixon. He's going to lose his timeout, but definitely a timeout here to try to cool the Jets. A lot up for grabs here, really, for them. The chance to try to get into that 4th spot. Right now, it's still available. They got a point. They got to get some wins to get there. West Hants Warriors have 3 points, and they're the ones that are holding on to that 4th spot, and they have any hopes of getting in. They've got to pretty well keep the pace with the West Hants Warriors. But, of course, the West Hants Warriors have a game against Pictou, so the Nova Scotia Mainland Hockey League rivals will go ahead. That will be after this one here. But you have to keep stride for stride if you want to get into that 4th playoff spot. Top spots are pretty well. Right now, Bedford and the TASA Ducks have it, as well as Glace Bay. So they have any hopes in trying to get into that playoff round. They got to come away with this win here, because their season's pretty well on the line. They don't play tomorrow. They had 2 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, and they are not scheduled to play tomorrow, as it's Glace Bay Pictou at 10, TASA versus West Hants, and then Sydney versus Bedford to wrap it up at 4 in the round-robin portion. So there's really no, it's pretty well all hands on deck here for the Hawks, and now they trail 3-0. So it's all of a sudden things starting to get a little bit tense and tougher there for the host team. And that is stopped there by Lou. And the thing is, you're also looking at future Axel Physio Hawks, and the future looks pretty good here for this team. So they keep a good majority of the players here next year. Sky's the limit. They'll use this as experience and come back and give it the old college try once again, and they may achieve success. Last year I had the opportunity to call the Major Midget Atlantics, which were hosted by the Cole Harbour Wolfpack, and the Cole Harbour Wolfpack were one of the teams that they were definitely the underdogs, but at one point they were up top in terms of standings, the only undefeated team, but they were unable to get the strong finishes at the end. But they used that experience, and it has helped them to have a fantastic regular season in the Nova Scotia Major Midget Hockey League. As we have a penalty coming up, it's a tripping call. But look at the Cole Harbour Wolfpack now, tops in the Nova Scotia Major Midget Hockey League. And just recently, they just ended the season there of the Steel Subarus, who were silver medalists at that Major Midget Atlantics last year, hosted by Cole Harbour and Lance. So, sometimes you gotta, have short-term pain for long-term gain is a term that I like to use. And the TASA Ducks will be on the Atlantic Acura power play here as McIntyre has gone to the box for the trip. Emma McIntyre. So the Ducks have a chance here to go up by 4 if they can cash here on this power play. Power play number 2 for them. Prince has it just outside the blue line. Phillips will man the point here. Kennedy a shot, getting a piece of it was Lou, and luckily for Lou, his rebound control was just enough. He didn't leave a big juicy rebound because there was a Duck player right on the doorstep there on the Kennedy shot, and it would have been an easy tap in, but he got a piece of it just enough to get it deflected away. Minute 5 left in the McIntyre penalty. Prince. O'Brien there puts it towards the short side, and it goes in towards the corner. Good chance here. 52 seconds remaining in the tripping penalty to McIntyre. Phillips comes up with it, goes right wide. O'Brien didn't pull the trigger. Prince there, loses it, goes in, regains control there for the Ducks. 38 seconds left. Kennedy, wrist shot, and it didn't miss by much. Phillips, who looks pretty good. Boy, he's going to look pretty good in a Gulls uniform next year, isn't he? Of course, Gulls back-to-back provincial champions in Nova Scotia Major Bantam Hockey League. 20 seconds remaining in the penalty. Kennedy with a little bit of a cross-check there to the Hawk player in the corner. 13 seconds remain in the penalty to McIntyre. Phillips, Prince, they trade positions. And a screen shot is stopped there by Lou. As teams make changes here, 4 seconds remaining. 11 seconds shy of the halfway point of the hockey game, halfway point here of the second period. McIntyre standing up, ready to come out. Penalty, served. Bush now. And that hits bodies out front. Trying to get going the other way was Finn Merritt. We talked about how strong the Major Bantam program was. Arlo Merritt won a bronze medal at the championships when they were held in North Sydney a couple of years ago, and he was putting up some fantastic numbers that season for the Nova Scotia Major Bantam Hockey League. Here's Ross now for the Hawks. Will send it in, but Bush will get possession of it, decides to go in behind the goal and to the near side boards here. Ducks win that battle. Baldwin now, nice tape-to-tape pass as they get going on the attack. Baldwin with a nice move, but couldn't pull the trigger, and McDougall got a piece of a stick there before he could get the shot. Players falling down like bowling pins on a bowling alley on a Friday night here at Halifax, but the play is now up the center ice area. Ross tried to play it. The pass wasn't really a great one. It was in his feet, and now he'll send it in, and they'll start a change. Raphael as well as Mumberket up there starting to force the issue, trying to come up with a turnover. They do, as Raphael falls down and was trying to pass it, but puts it right onto a Ducks player. Ducks player had a chance to clear, but can't. Phillips now has it. And up to Penny. Penny, end of his shift, starts a change here. Phillips and Mumberket exchange numbers just before the change there. Puck out center ice area. 6 minutes remaining here in the period. Rivera, he's got a goal, and he got a lot of celebrations from his teammates. Takes a hit there, a bump there from Raphael. And back the other way is Arnold now. Here's a foot race. Mumberket, he must be at the end of his shift. So he was second in that foot race. Arnold loses it. Now blows a tire, and Arnold must be gasping. He'd like to get a change, but right now the puck's down in their own zone, so he'll stay out there. O'Coin goes down, loose puck in the slot area, and the Hawks on the drive once again, but they get the center ice no further. Mumberket and Kearney come together. That's onside as O'Coin does some great work to keep it alive here for the Ducks inside the zone. Cross ice pass, scores! Rivera has a second. They barely kept it alive on side, and Rivera has a second here. 9:47. It's 4-0. Kennedy, Burke, Rivera times 2 has a 4 spot up on the board there for the Ducks. Ducks are going to make that game versus West Hants maybe not really mean anything in terms of standing-wise. Running away with it in first place. But it is a veteran staff, as we've talked about. Hawks have to keep on trying here. They looked a little bit better composed after the timeout when that third goal went in. That hits the linesman. That might leave a big ouchie bro on the old arm there of the linesman. It's going to have a nice little blue bruise there on his arm. Kennedy there keeping on going. There's the short side. They're trying to jam it around, but puck is on the net, so it's going to be blown down. 4:20 left here, second period. After this, 2 more games remain here on the marathon session day. Teams have been playing since 8 o'clock. The 360 Live crew, including yours truly, has been here since 8 o'clock, so it's a marathon day. And you can actually say it's getaway day, as it's a get away from the rest of the pack and try to prove that you deserve to be into the playoff round here of the championships, and the Ducks are doing that. 15-0 win earlier against the Steelers, and right now they're up 4. Hawks here trying to break that streak, but 1 goal against there. The numbers there for the Ducks have just been impressive here in the championships. Here's Burke. Burke, wrist shot is blocked. Halliday thought about pulling the trigger. He actually had to send it towards the corner and then fell down, so didn't have really much on it to be sent to the corner. McIntyre trying to come a loose puck. Oh, front Penny, and the stop there by Lou, and players are starting to fall and hit the ice here like bags of wet cement, causing the stoppage in play with 3:33 remaining here in the period. Kearney on this draw now. Umbercat guarded him pretty well. Couldn't take a man better if you tried, and of course still prevent from taking a penalty. In the meantime, Hawks are on the drive, led by Raphael. Has his pocket picked. Prince now turns on the Jets. Goes high off glass, gets by Wagner down. This will be an icing call with 3:10 remaining here in the period. So, of course, you can go to hockeynovascotia.ca/HNS and then have that little underscore 14050.html. That will get you the link. You could actually even stream the games from there. Of course, if you're watching, you already know that. But you can actually access the stats there. So everything that I'm telling you, you have a chance to keep an eye on here at these championships. Giving you scores and results as well as the goals for and against. As I say, it's a busy day, so the standings are changing just like a Don Henley New York minute. 2:42 remaining here in the period. Raphael. Oh, they're trying to set up. Umbercat. Arnold with a shot, a second chance, and McDonald 2 stops on Arnold, and Arnold's had his chances here at the championships. He scored on a penalty shot earlier in their game against the West Hants Warriors. That was the first lead that the Hawks have had here at the championships, but it was denied that time there by Ben McDonald. Maybe he's got the nickname Ben Mac, Mac, for being a McDonald. Ben Mac? Maybe we'll start calling him that. Maybe we'll trend it now on Twitter. # Ben Mac with that big stop. Maybe you'll see him at the skills competition tomorrow. Hopefully get a chance to talk to the players here at the championships here. Skills competition at 2. And I have a chance to watch it here on 360 Live. Sent back in. I've had a chance to watch the skills competitions the last 3 times that I've been at the PeeWee Championships here at, of course, Lance as well as Trenton. So I've at least watched 2 of the 3. And so you'll have a good chance to watch these players put on a performance there and maybe have a little bit of a, relaxing moment. And there's fun and there's smiles and there's like lots of that going on at the championships tomorrow. And of course the skills competition brought to you by RCS Construction. Referee has his arm up. And we've got a cross-checking penalty coming your way with 1:36 remaining here in the period. $13:24 the time, and Kennedy's going off for the cross-check. Atlantic Acura power play up here for the Halifax Hawks.